on your dreams. Because if you stay focused on your dreams, then you won't get off track with trying to follow somebody else's dreams. And I'm learning. I go out and speak to young people, and the first thing I ask them is what is their purpose? Because I feel like you got to have a purpose ordinary to start a business. And most people when they start business, if you don't have a purpose and you go into a business and it's not something that is a passion or a purpose that you really into, you become bored.
Yeah.
And so my motivation to people is to get involved in something that you love to do.
Okay.
And I tell people, everybody say, why you start a cleaning company? Because I like to clean.
Yeah, tell us about how you got started with motivational speaking and what inspired you.
What inspired me for wanting to be a motivator speaker is that it took some motivating for me. I had people in my life that, that always, my grandmother was my inspiration.
Okay.
My grandmother always told me that I was going to be successful.
Okay.
When I was younger, when she told me, I didn't understand it then because I was young. But as I got older and as I started really getting involved with things that I like, then I started seeing myself in a different.
They say you have to see it in order
you have to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And
I have to achieve it.
Right. And I have a saying: if you believe it, you receive it, you achieve it. And I have done all three.
Yeah.
I see myself as having my own business, being successful, and when I really took hold of it is when I really had to learn from family members. My family members is what really made me learn about motivating. Because sometimes you will have people that say they love you and they want to see you be successful, and them are the ones that will destroy you.
Yeah.
So you have to really look at your life and make your own decisions and not let somebody else program you to be who they want you to be. And I can say that as a mother because I have 3 kids and I look at all 3 of them in a different way.
Right.
And to motivate them, I have to motivate them all in a different way because they all have different personalities.
Yeah.
And when you start telling your kids who you want them to be, then you want them to be motivated into that mode that you want them to be, and that's not fair. It's not fair.
All right. Now tell me this: what encouraged you to join this business? What made you get into it?
What encouraged me is because I like to motivate people. I like for people to see reality. Because we hear a lot of people talking, we look at a lot of reality shows, and a lot of that stuff we see on TV, it ain't real. It ain't true.
Yeah.
You got kids like my grandkids. I tell them all the time, don't believe everything you see on TV because everything you see on TV is not true.
Yeah.
But with my motivation, I did it. I know it was done. And I know that it was me that motivated me.
Yeah, now tell me this, what is it about you that inspires people?
I think it's my personality. My outgoing personality.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think it's because people look at me and I look rich. I have that personality that I look rich.
You carry it very well.
And I tell people, even if I was broke, and I don't accept that in my spirit because the word broke means you are broken, and I'm not broken. So I tell people, even if I had a cash flow problem, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah.
Because my motivation is that I motivate myself to always move forward.
Yeah, my mother once said that before. She said, hey, if you ain't rich, so you better look like it.
Just look like it. And I think that's what I motivate people because I do. I have that outgoing personality, and I'm always happy.
Okay.
Even if I'm having a bad day, I would never let nobody get that much joy in making me feel like I'm having a bad day. Yeah. So motivation is more of what is your motive.
Yeah.
What is your motive of living? And if you got a motive of motivation of living, then life is worth living. Then that will motivate you.
Yeah. Every speaker is different. How do you prepare for your speeches?
Everyday life. Everyday life. Because I really believe motivation is telling what is really happening. Because you find a lot of people can tell somebody else's story, but nobody can tell nobody else's story better than the person that's going through it can tell the story. So I can really talk about motivation from my own life experience.
Okay. How many appearances and speeches will you give in 1 year? Like in a year's time, how many appearances? Because when people read this, they'll be like, hey, I might want her for my next event.
I would hope that I could do as many as possible. If people call me, if I had 5 engagements, then I can get to all of them. It first have to plan on learning how to plan your calendar and plan your time, because motivation is just not something that you can just get up there and do.
Yeah.
Motivation speaking is something that's got to come from the heart,
Yeah.
and it's got to touch somebody else's heart.
It has to have an impact.
It's got to touch somebody else's life.
I mean, when that audience get quiet, you know they're listening in on you.
Right.
And you have an anointing, because everybody can't do it.
Everybody cannot do motivation.
If there's something that could be said or done for someone who needs motivation, or just a listening ear, you know, what would your speech be? You know, sometimes somebody just needs somebody.
My speech would be to never give up on you, and never give up on your purpose in life, because when you give up on you, then you open the door for somebody to tear you down.
Yeah.
So I tell people all the time, if anybody loves you, it should be you.
Yeah.
And you know, and some people call me conceited because I love me.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between conceited and confident.
Yeah.
I am very confident in me.
Yeah. Motivational speakers are available in diverse fields such as arts, sports, human rights, sales, marketing, management, etc. Is there any particular subject that you would speak about, or that you just speak about? I mean, would you touch on
most of my motivation
topics?
Would be entrepreneurship. Would be more into the field, especially when it comes to women, is to inspire them to be better at anything that they put their mind to, because I tell people, I was a single parent, where I raised kids by myself, and you know, and I feel like whenever you set your mind to do something, stay focused on it and don't let nobody distract you. And I tell people all the time, don't imitate somebody else. Be you. It costs you less to be you than it costs for you to be like somebody else.
That's true.
And I think what it is with me, a lot of people who might not know me, but once they get to know me, they'll see that I keep everything in reality, because that's just who I am. I'm a reality person. So my motivation would be to motivate people to just be yourself.
Okay. Now,